this episode of George and Ruth, we are going to New York City to find some video games. Here's me in Grand Central. Yep.
I love New York.
Nothing like New York, our home away from home.
That's right.
Our first stop, Book Off.
I loved this place personally.
Yeah, they honestly had like a huge selection, not just video games, but I think they had like books and like manga and like toys and stuff. Like when I first entered this place, I was like overwhelmed. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
They like, and also the staff was like really friendly and helpful. Like here you got like a bunch of like Nintendo 64 games and like Game Boy games. Like they had like a really good selection of games. Not only that, but they're like 15 minutes away from like Grand Central, which is like always nice. So it's like a nice walk.
And it wasn't too packed. You know, you would think that it's more packed because it's so close to Grand
Yeah,
Central
right.
and Times Square.
So we came on a Saturday around like 9 o'clock. No, the store opens at 10 o'clock, right? So
Yeah, 10
when
o'clock.
we came in, it wasn't bad at all.
We took an 8:37 train.
Right.
And we got in on time.
And they had like, when it comes to modern games, they had like a humongous selection when it comes to like Switch and PS4 games. Here we have like a bunch of like Japanese games that they have. They had like a huge selection of like loose card Japanese games, which is always nice to see. But like I think that they're like the only store that I've seen like a huge selection of Japanese games. For like the regular Famicom and the Super Famicom, and not only that, but they also have that for like the Game Boy.
How were the prices?
Honestly, I think the prices were fair. Like I always compare everything to price charting, and they were either on par with price charting or a little bit lower. Like when I was like looking through some of their stuff, like right now, like very few games were above price charting, and like right here you see that they have like like their own shelves, like pull-out shelves like of Japanese video games, which is always nice. So if you're okay with not going the CIB route and just having the loose cart, this is the place to go. This is my first time into a Book Off. I didn't even know of a Book Off before until I watched somebody like on YouTube mentioned it in New York City. Apparently they're like really popular in Japan, but like I was floored when I went into this place. But yeah, they have like a huge like Japanese selection. Like, you know me, I like my Dragon Ball, so that definitely caught my eye. Dragon Ball Z game for the regular Famicom, and yeah, like I said, they had like a huge modern selection of games. Honestly, they had like a little bit of like everything. The store itself is like pretty big especially for like New York City. You wouldn't think that like a store like this would be like that big.
It had 3 levels.
Yeah, right. There's some like an upstairs for books, and then
There was
like
an upstairs for books, and they had a downstairs for vinyls, records, tapes, CDs.
that's like where they're like the DVDs and like Blu-rays were at, right?
Yeah, so this is the upstairs section, actually, and this is where all the books were. So if you're into books, novels, this is your heaven, basically.
Yeah, right. And they had some pretty good deals, right? Didn't you get like
yeah.
Didn't you get like a bunch of like $1 books?
I got 3 $1 books, and then this is they had this cool, like plastered on the walls, all these movies and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you're someone coming into Grand Central and like a 15-minute walk, like this is the place. This is the first stop I would go to be honest.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, this is like definitely a place that we're gonna come back to every time we go to New York City.
And now our second stop.
I believe this place is called New York Retro Gaming, and you know, looking at the design on the side of the sidewalk speaks for itself. Here you see me entering the place itself, and you know, the one thing I want to point out is they utilize every piece of space they have in this place. It's like from like the floor up. It's a small store, but they like utilize every piece of space, and let me tell you, they had like a huge selection of games. Like this was like compared to Book Off, they had like an amazing selection of games, and it's like even though it's a small space, like it took us like a while to kind of go through and look at everything.
Yeah, it was very compact.
Yeah. Also the staff there were very helpful. They were very nice.
The only thing is everything was behind glass and locked away.
Yeah,
so,
of course. Like
yeah.
I could understand that part,
Yeah.
and it was like a whole ordeal when it comes to getting what you need. But yeah, they had like just about everything you can want. They had Japanese imports. They have like sealed copies like Game Boy games, N64 games, like everything. It was like,
Video game heaven.
yeah, it was like honestly overwhelming by how much they had in such a tight space. And they also had like your strategy guides and some like Nintendo powers also, but like there was just a lot to unpack in such a small store. Here you got like your Japanese like Super Famicom games and like I believe in the background that those are like reshelled Super Famicoms, especially with like the see-through they do. Also at this place they also offer a service where they repair your console. So
that's convenient.
yeah, so if you ever need like your stuff repaired, that's the place to go. And this was the first GameStop that I went to that had the retro theme going on. So I decided to check it out, and yeah, I had to hold the door for. Yeah, let me tell you, this place was ass. I was so mad when I went in here. There was like honestly nothing retro about this place, and it's from GameStop. I wasn't surprised. There was no retro games. This was one of the few GameStops that offer that had the retro games, and like
the selection was just.
It was dude.
There it is.
Here's Ruthie taking a fucking snapshot of their whole retro section. It was just ass. It was just like fucking. That was it.
Maybe it just wasn't their day.
I was looking for Pokemon games, and this is what they got me. Also, we just the fucking. Redeem myself. I had to go to a Starbucks and get myself a refresher, and they spelled my name wrong. All right, and our last stop was at J&L Games. Now this place is like 50 minutes away from Grand Central, and the good thing is they have everything you could ever want. The bad thing, the fucking prices were outrageous.
Yeah.
And damn, like I didn't even know what to say. Like, look at those prices for those Pokemon games. They were like at a 50% markup.
Wow.
But like, I can understand this. Not for nothing. The rent in New York must be extremely high.
That's true.
So I can understand why they had to mark everything at a premium. But like, goddamn, I had to get the heck out of there.
Yeah.
It was just so bad. But that's basically our trip to New York, and like we had a good time. We got our close to 20,000 steps there, and at least we got
some good stuff out of it.
Awesome.
Here are the 3 books I bought, and then I got a cute little tote that says Book Off, and then finally a $3 manga that was on clearance, and I can't wait to read it.
So basically, Book Off was your spot to go to. All right, now it's time to show off the haul that we got from New York City. So the first place we went into was Book Off, which me and Ruthie really liked, because not only did they sell video games, but they sold like books and like a ton of like figurines. But mostly, I was like interested in the video game aisle because I have a 5th grade reading level, so otherwise I would have bought the books. But I was lucky enough to get a copy of Pokemon, and from what the cashier told me, that these the Pokemon games actually go sell pretty fast. So I was lucky enough to get a copy of this for like $50. I think on price charting it goes for like a little more than that. So the fact that I got this for $50 was actually a pretty good deal. But one of the things, so the thing with Pokemon games, I should say, is that they're like the most counterfeited games. So even when I was there, I was kind of looking for like the serial number right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it says 71 on the side. And also, usually counterfeits don't have like this little indent right here with where the screw is. Usually the screw is up here. So that's what kind of like one of the ways I could tell that if it was a reproduction or legit copy. So I was thankful. I was happy enough to see that it was a legit copy. But anyway, let's just test it out and see if it actually boots up. All right, so far so good. Let's see. Here we go. We got the iconic tune going. Awesome. Looks like it works. I wonder if the person left the safe out here. Oh, he did. Damn. 121 Pokemon, so he spent 75 hours. I wonder what he has. So, let's see. He's level 100 Pokemon. Okay. So let's take a look. So he has a Bulbasaur or Venusaur. Oh, he has also a Charizard too. And a Blastoise. He must have... I'm guessing he must have traded with someone or traded within himself if he had like another copy of like Pokemon Blue or Yellow. But yeah. Looks like it's a pretty good selection. Okay. So it looks like this works. So I definitely got my $50 worth. So the next thing I got was Gex Enter the Gecko. I originally had this for PS1, but my friend Ed had this for the N64. I think the PS1 version was more optimized because I think all the N64 ones had like a little slowdown. But if you ever want to get into the Gex series, you should definitely get the PS1 version. Well, it was $12. You can see there's a little stain here and there, but whatever. For $12, I thought it was pretty good. So let's see if it boots up. So far, so good. The good thing is the fact that it boots off right off the bat means that they actually test the games. Uh-oh. I spoke too soon. So what I'm gonna have to do is take a little alcohol and wipe the insides, and hopefully that should fix it. Or I open it up and then wipe the other side. But overall, I think this, for $12, even if I lost out and it didn't work, I'm sure I can find a way to fix it. But so far, so good. So at our next stop, we went to the New York City spot, the New York City retro game spot. I saw this, which was, I believe in the US version, it's called Supersonic Warriors. It's basically a 2D fighting game where you can fight in the air and then ground. But I believe the US version is actually a little bit more expensive. But to find a sealed copy of this for the Japanese version is pretty crazy. Because I was looking on eBay and they sell for fairly definitely more than $25. But I saw this and I was like, why not? For $25, it's seemed like a good deal. So the next thing I got was a little pricey because it was King of Demons, which only got released in the US. Or I'm sorry, not in the US, only in Japan. But it never got a US release. But basically it was like a horror platformer game. I'm sure you could find like a ROM with translations for it. But I meant to get this, but it was sold out at the time. I forgot what the company was. It was one of those limited run games that made like a reproduction type of this. So, but I think I'm assuming the retail price was like around $60 or $70. But for $109, even though for $109 for a game that was sold out, that's not a bad price. Because I'm sure on eBay it was going for more than $109. So it's a nice horror theme platformer that I could probably play around like the Halloween season. So $109 to me sounded like a decent deal. So I got it. So the last thing I got from the New York City's retro game place was this Silent Filter 2 game. Um, I actually ordered a copy of Silent Filter 2 on eBay for like around $15. That was black label in really good condition. Like there was no scratches on this. The reason I got that was because Silent Filter 2 was one of the first Silent Filter games I got for the PS1. I never played the first one, but for some reason I just bought Silent Filter 2 just on a whim. And it was actually a really good game. It kind of reminded me of Splinter Cell. So I figure, why not grab the strategy guide for $10. But the thing is, I actually ordered, let's see, I think I ordered the whole series from 1 to 3, plus there was a PS2 version I never knew about. So I think I got all 4 games for under $50. Some on eBay and some on the other site, Macari. So that's pretty good to me for $50 for all 4 games. But yeah, I was pretty happy with what I got on our visit to the city. So it's a shame that I didn't get any more Pokemon games, but what can you do? Next time, definitely visiting Book Off, because that was like such a good spot to meet my girlfriend. Like for her, she liked the manga section. For me, it was just mostly about the games. Just from testing out the games, it looks like they kept it in good condition. But not only that, it's like it's a 15-minute walk from Grand Central, so it's not too far from like our commute. But anyway, hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you got something out of it. Thanks.